Hello. I kind of got used to making a video every 2 weeks. It's kind of comfy, I'm not going to lie. So right now, currently we are in week 10. The balance is looking pretty good. And this is kind of the balance that I have started the week with. But we are now in drawdown with 2 trades, which is not necessarily an issue. But this video will be for the aftermath of week 8 and week 9. Which have been pretty good, so let's just get into it. Okay, so let's start with week 8. I have obviously kind of erased some of the overnight ranges from the previous week, since we are now at week 10. So obviously I have new overnight ranges. If some of them are important, I still kept them. So this happened with the 9th week. There are still some important overnight levels. To be honest, this one is probably not needed anymore, and this one neither. Okay, so let's start with the trades from the 8th week, and let's see what exactly I have thought about them and how exactly I have managed them. So I will check the Excel and point the trades and what I have thought when taking these trades. For now, most important thing is to see exactly where we're standing on week 8. So week 8 was okay. We moved sharply from the weekend price action to the upside, and here I still had a trade, if I remember correctly, from week 7. Which I have closed on big profits, but at the same time, when I closed it, I have also taken a short, because at this point I thought that we will make another lower high and there was a good supply and demand zone here. So what I did is I took a short from here. Let's have it with the red. So I took a short from here, but at this point I thought that since we moved from 90, sorry, not from 98k, that is for next week, since we kind of closed all the gaps in the former chart, right, in the former week's chart, I have thought that we could potentially move higher here. So what I did is I have put a order overnight, so in case it hits it, it will take profit, right? So I took profit exactly at this low. It was a bit lucky, obviously. I took this profit here over the night. So this was the first trade of week 8, which was pretty good. I could have probably kept it for more time, but when I saw this week, which looked pretty good, and when I saw the fact that we are trending higher, I did not really think that we could go much lower, especially since we have weak highs all over the place. Well, unfortunately we did go lower, and unfortunately again I did take some on Tuesday I did take some long trades that were heavy losses. Ethereum I didn't really take with much size. I'm not really taking much size on altcoins anymore, so that's good. But Bitcoin was a big loss, because I did kind of the same mistake that I did the last weeks, which is I have compounded a trade thinking it would go higher, but I didn't really pay attention or didn't really move the stop loss accordingly. So what I did was I started taking building a long position. Let's see, where did I take this long position at? 106.2k at 12:49 p.m. So I thought that this overnight range wouldn't get breached too much. So what I did was I started the long here, and the stop loss was at 102k. So it was under this week right here. Well, unfortunately this week was obviously taken later on, but the other thing that I did is I have seen pretty strong movement here on where was it? Was it Wednesday? Oh yeah, it was Wednesday. So I saw a pretty big move here on Wednesday, the 20th, and give me 1 second. No, actually it was Friday. So all this sideways movement I didn't trade, and I was actually waiting to see what's going to happen. But when I saw it breaking up from this range, I thought that I could actually just probably take a compound here of the long. Well, unfortunately, this compound of the rock didn't look good at all, and I did hit my stop loss here, so the trade went out here. The trade literally took me out here for a big loss of like 3%. This was a pretty big loss. After this, what I had to do is just be very patient and wait for an actual setup and not for just a random movement around the place. And what I did is, when I saw the move under 100k, I wanted to start buying, because a very big level for me was 98k. Obviously, I didn't think it would hit 98k on a weekend with a 6k move to downside. So my entry point was around here actually. So this was my entry point on the weekend, also for Ethereum. And I took this entry point into week 9, right? I didn't close it too fast. So at week 9, what I did is I started compounding the trade. Okay, so I compounded the trade once around 102.2k. So I took the trade and compounded it around here. We went sharply lower, to be honest, on some, I guess it was when the issues with the Qatar and Iran started. But nevertheless, this was a good trade. This was a good compound, right? It was outside of the overnight range on Monday, and then that was very good. This trade, let me see, I also compounded Ethereum obviously, but this trade, what I did with this trade is I closed it over the weekend price action high. So I closed it here. The first trade from the weekend I closed here, and the other trade had closed here on an before overnight movement. So this was a very big winning trade. It was pretty much a bit bigger than the one from the a bit bigger than the loss that week 8 start has given me. It's pretty good, but obviously this move close to overnight of 2k, 2.5k almost is absolutely disgusting. Like, these moves are very big these weeks. The market is very volatile, but it's also very unpredictable, so it's better to just either trade with the trend or take less trades. Then what I did was I started trading with the trend, as I have told myself, and I had a trade on Tuesday on Bitcoin, a long trade. Let's double check this. So it was a long trade about, I think it was around here. Let me double check. A Tuesday. So Tuesday entry was 105.2k. 105.2k, so around here I would guess. So what I did is I took a long here with the stop loss under this big move here. So the stop loss was around here. And I said, okay, we actually got under the overnight low from Tuesday. We took it slightly. We touched the POC of the big range from like the break of 80k range to up to until now. And then I have started compounding this on Wednesday. Let's see how this looked like. So the first compound was actually around here when we moved out of the overnight high on Tuesday. So that was first compound. Then I had another compound when we actually went down a bit here. Yes, this was exactly it. So this was the second compound, but the first take profit was here after the big move to 107.3k. So 107.3k was important for me, mainly because there was an overnight range here, and I thought I would be better off just taking the profit here. We are really moving, like, we're grinding to the upside. When we're grinding to the upside, I really don't like keeping too many trades, too many positions, right? So this trade here, I took profit around here. I compounded it again when I saw it going down. It was an aggressive compound, but it wasn't full position. And then after I did this overnight, we actually took the full profits of the full trade that started here at around 107.3k, around 1:30. Where is 1:30 a.m.? 1:30 a.m. was around here, so around here, right? So we took this trade from this side to this side, kind of. We kind of caught a good move, around 2k move, 2.5k move. It's obviously a very good trade for around 2% profit. Then what I did was, I think I started shorting, if I'm not wrong. Yes, so I started shorting on Thursday. So Thursday at 26th, 27, right? So I started shorting 106 point. It's 107k. So I started shorting 107k. Let's see, where did I short this? So I shorted it around here, right? I started shorting around here. This was the first entry for the short, and at this point I thought, okay, let's see if we can actually push lower, right? So my first compound of this move was when we actually broke an overnight range, and I expected it to push lower because of this literal, like this move to the upside here doesn't show me anything. There's zero power here, nothing happening, right? So I thought, okay, let's see if we can move lower. We couldn't move lower, unfortunately. So what happened is, whenever we actually tried to move even lower, I started shorting again, right? So we were at 106.4k around here, and I shorted again. I thought that we're actually going to see lower at this point, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So what happened instead is I just closed the trade, right? I just closed the trade around here for a scratch trade, and I said, okay, we're literally not wanting to move lower on this chart. So I just flipped the switch. So what I did is I actually went long here after I closed the trade. So I closed this trade, this short trade, for literally nothing, +0, -0, whatever, a scratch trade. Then I started longing here. But the problem with this long is that the weekend movement was very, very, very... this one had a 6k move, this one had a 1k move, right? So what I did here is I just said, okay, I had a good week, no problem, I'll just take the trade out, right? So what I did is I closed the trade at around 7 p.m. my time, so it was around here. I just closed the trade here for a small win, and I just called it a week. And it was a good trading week, to be honest. It was a very good trading week. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it lower at this point, but as you can see, we moved lower, sharply lower on, I mean, not sharply, but we did move lower on week 10. Unfortunately, I'm still expecting it to take even lower sides here. This is kind of a very weak low, if you ask me. But yeah, this movement to the upside that we had these days, because we're talking about current move, is very, 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 I don't know, it's like it took too much time, it's no volume, nothing, right? And the only thing that we have to keep in mind is the following: we have very, very weak highs. The last highs are very weak, the all-time highs are very weak. We can surely see an all-time high in July, but I would really like us to take this low here. This low here would be great, because it would really, I don't know, it would complete a lot of this space here in the chart, maybe even touch the value area low. But then I would really like it, let's say you would touch the 100k maximum, 101k, something around here. That would be nice. But then I really want to see it pushing further to like 110, 120 or so. But yeah, that's my take right now. These were week 8 and week 9 for me. So right now what we have to do is go to the learnings, see the Excel and how it looks, and see how we can do better for the next weeks. So the Excel is looking pretty good. Obviously we started week 8 with a win, small win from the short from the 108.7k. Then we had the big loss that we were talking about the compounding, that we didn't move the stop loss along the way after the compound. So that is one thing to keep in mind for the learnings. And then I had a big win with starting with the weekend long at under 100k, which was very good. This was compounded and taken profit with on Ethereum as well over the first few days of week 9. And then I had the trend long at 105.2k, which was also good. It was good profit, right? Obviously that was kind of the last big win, because then we had the scratch when we couldn't really push lower from the chart. We tried to compound this trade, it didn't work out. And then the close of last weekends when the PA was just horrific, right? But this is a 100% win rate week. At the end of week 9 I was at 10.35k, right? So $10,350 on that account. For week 8 I was standing at 60% win rate. I didn't really put the biggest loss. Let's just put the biggest loss here. Okay, and biggest win was 304.82, right? Okay, that's probably enough. I mean, this is very similar. The average win and loss is probably better for the winner. Here the average win is 84 because we had no losses, and so that looks good. Week 8 was a 1.44% increase, and week 9 2.51. So these weeks were great, right? But now let's see exactly what we have learned from these weeks. This is the most important thing that we have to keep in mind right here. So week 8 plus week 9. Week 8 plus week 9. Week 8 we have to keep in mind the following. When compounding the trade, careful for stop loss. It varies the risk greatly. So when compounding for a trade, right? So what I did with the compound that lost me around 3 to 3.5%. Always be careful with the stop loss. The stop loss makes it that if it is not changed or not traded properly, it will vary the risk of the whole trade and the count obviously greatly. So that is something that I have to work on consistently. Either that or compounding more mindfully, one or the other. Then what we can do is also check the winning trades, right? So the winning trades were pretty good. Let's just say keeping the trades for prolonged time paid out properly. So keeping the trades for a prolonged amount of time paid out very nicely in week 8 and week 9. And also what I have to keep in mind here is that breaking the rule of not taking trades in the weekend paid out properly. So it is not good to take weekend trades, all right? But when the chart is 6k down on a Sunday, right, and we had the CME gap at 103.7k, then I think it is a good idea, especially since we went under 100k. It's a good idea to have that long. Sure, this shouldn't be a thing that is recurring, shouldn't take trades in the weekend, but this was a very good opportunity. So I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I broke my rule when I should have broken my rule. Okay, the other thing that I should probably note is that keeping trades overnight is not bad if the risk is not too much. So this goes hand in hand with the second point, where if I keep trades for a prolonged amount of time and actually keep it overnight as well, obviously, it's not bad if the risk makes sense, right? They paid out, it will pay out. I can put stop loss and take profit during the night as well, and a lot of them paid out. Obviously a lot of them can lose as well, but if the bias is okay, if the charting is fine, and if the risk is decent, then yes, this is a good way to move forward from here. So I think this is enough for this summary. I hope I will see you in the next one. I hope that maybe you have seen something something useful in this video, or have noticed something that would help you in the near future. And so thank you for watching, and good luck trading, and see you in the next video. Thank you.